Hi guys, it's Shelley from the Lemonade Store, and I wanted to sit outside and start my intro because it's just so nice, and I don't always get the best lighting inside. But today we're gonna go over Chrystal Elizabeth's book that came out a little bit ago, and it's called Brush Lettering Made Simple, and I love it. I bought it on Amazon, and I wanted to kind of share it with you guys and support her, and let you see how cool it is inside. And we're also going to do a little giveaway because she was so kind enough. She sent me one. I said, hey, I want to do a video on your book, and I'm all, do you want to send out a copy? So she did, and then I will add some paints maybe and some pens or something that I think you guys could use to help you. So to enter the giveaway, you need to comment below and tell me what your favorite video of mine is, or maybe tell me something you've learned from one of my videos, and I will be picking a random winner, and I will be shipping that out. Let's see, we'll give it maybe a couple of days. I will put exactly down in the description when I'm going to post the winner, and that way I can give people on some of my other platforms, like on Instagram, and also my subscribers on my website, they have a chance to also participate. So let's get started, and I will start showing you the awesome book below. Okay, here we go. Okay, so when I opened up the box, Chrystal was so awesome, and she left a wrapped version of the book. So someone's gonna get this book, and I'll give you details at the end on how to get this book, as well as some other supplies that I'm gonna do as a giveaway. And I bought my own copy off of Amazon, and I'll put the link below of how to get her book. But I bought my own copy to support her, and if you guys don't support other people in the lettering community, I would totally encourage you to do that. Go and make some friends on Instagram, and just be kind to others who are also trying to just learn the craft like you are. And what's awesome is that Chrystal gave us this one all wrapped up and ready to ship out. And as part of the giveaway, I am also going to include some other supplies. And she sent me a little note, so I haven't even had a chance to read it yet. I just opened up the package when I started videoing. So she's such a kind heart and super supportive. And of course, she is so awesome. She gave me a little note with some stickers, and you're so great, Chrystal. Thank you so much. So I will link below to her book on Amazon and her Instagram, and then we're going to get started. We're going to flip through the book, and I'm going to kind of show you some of my favorite things about it. So first off, one of the things I love about this book is it actually has a really cool feel to it, like the texture and the colors, and it's like full of different like watercolor and pen techniques. So it's just a pretty book, and I am a book hoarder for sure. Like if it's an arts book or a craft book or crochet or embroidery, I have to buy it. I'm always trying new things. I learn from books all the time, and I absolutely love just having them in my collection for inspiration. I love books, and I actually created a little area just next to my desk here where I got a couple of bookshelves from IKEA, and I have now a little library. So I will show you that maybe when I can ever get around to my studio tour. So let's kind of get started and look inside the book. Okay, so when you go through the book, it, like I said, it has a lot of really pretty watercolor pages and things like that. But one of the things that I love about this book is that there are all sorts of different exemplars of alphabets. So she doesn't just do like script lettering. She has other lettering examples as well. Like I think there's like a typewriter one. There's ones that are just like basically like uppercase letters, and they are on the small side, but there's plenty of room on the other side to practice. And if you needed to enlarge it, you could probably just make a quick copy to enlarge it so that if you wanted to, you could practice. But I like the idea that you can look at these and just get inspiration and then get a piece of paper and start practicing your own. So she goes over so many different fun techniques. She also goes over like the composition, like how are you supposed to lay out your letters? How do you mix the different styles? Really kind of good techniques for practicing and learning how to do more than one word. I have a tendency to just do one word because I like to just practice on the single letter. But, this is really good if you're trying to do a quote or something of that nature. So connecting letters, it's really cool. One of the things Chrystal's known for is how she does her flourishing and the way that she can somehow connect letters. Like if you look at the Y and the K in this example here, it's really awesome that she has that ability to see, oh, look, I can connect this Y to this K. And she does that by sketching it out first, I'm sure, and then playing around with the different letters. And just makes some really fun techniques. So she gives away all of her knowledge in here, and we are going to pick something from the book, one of the projects that she has, and we're going to make that one together right now. So let's see. Let me pick the one that I want to find, and then we'll get started with what we're going to do. Okay, so she has this one that she teaches you how to do a sunset background. And we are going to kind of replicate this and do it kind of in my little style a little bit differently. I'm sure it'll end up, but I love it. The colors. It's super pretty. And this is a really great beginner example to try because you're just going to play with some paint and then at the end you can try some lettering on it. So let's get started on what we need. Okay, so for this one, we are going to need something like a palette. I'm just using a plate because that's what I got right now. And I wanted to try some new paint that I got. Arteza sent me some watercolor paints, and so we'll get some of those. I have a piece of watercolor paper, and I'm actually going to trim this paper down. This is a 9x12 sheet. So in order to save paper, I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. So I love, my favorite paper cutter actually is just this Fiskars trimmer that I have, and you can buy the replacement blades at the store pretty much anywhere, and it's so handy because it's so lightweight and I just keep it on the floor on the side of my desk so that I can just grab it and trim things. Okay, so this made my final piece 6x9 because I did on the long side, and then I'm going to try and I've been trying to remind myself to do this. I'm going to draw a rectangle inside because if not, I tend to just completely go willy-nilly outside of like the paper lines, and I don't know, I'm starting to draw shapes and squares to give me some sort of a border to contain me a little bit. So I'm going to draw my border, and then I'm going to tape it to a piece of cardboard so that it's not going to get warped when we add all the water. So I'm just going to grab some blue artist tape and tape it all around. Okay, so today I'm going to open a box of Arteza watercolors, and I have not tried these yet. Arteza was kind enough to send these to me, so this is going to be kind of my first use of these, but they have lots of different colors, 60 to be exact, and I thought that we would kind of play with these a little bit more as we go along. So I'm going to try and pick colors that are similar to the ones that Chrystal had, and I will put the color palette up on the side here so that you guys could see it if you wanted to use the same ones if you have the Arteza paints. So let's get started. So first step is, according to her directions, is that we're going to start with our yellows and build our way up. So And I wet the paper first because I really want my pale yellow to be pale. And I think it's going to help in the end for the blending of the different shades that we're going to do. So they call that the wet and wet technique. So wet your paper first and then start going up with your colors. So I did the pale yellow, and then I am going to do that saffron orange, and I kind of mixed it a little bit with my pale yellow because I was just worried that yellow was going to not show up at all. So that's kind of why I did that. But then I did the pink and the saffron orange made a really pretty color together. And you just want to look for like consistencies of your color. So just kind of mix it a little bit before you put it on the paper. But I really loved how they actually blended. And I wanted that pink to be a little bit more saturated. So I kept adding it until I was happy. And then the final color that we're going to use is that nice lilac color. And they dried really pretty as well. I'm really pleased with how they worked. So for an affordable, I believe it's a student grade set, they're nice. There's a lot of options there, I think, color-wise. So kind of blend everything in, and like I really wanted the sky to be just a smidge darker, so I kept adding to that. But overall, I think they blended really pretty, and it's going to dry nice. And if I got like extra water pooling, I just took my brush, dried it off, and then tried to pick up some of it so that it didn't make any weird, watermarks on the paper. So the next step is to make sure that when you're all done fiddling around with the color, you just let it dry. Okay, so now that I've let it dry, and I actually let it dry overnight, so because family life, I had to keep going. I'm going to add some white, and I am using the Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White, and my white's really kind of gross and chunky, but I just added water to it, and it kind of came back to life. So we're going to use that to do our moon and to do our stars. You can try using a white gel pen. Sometimes the white gel pens will work and sometimes they don't. So I really wanted it to be white, so I'm going to use paint. And then I'm splattering my white paint to give the effect of stars. And then I'm going to go in and just add a couple of more bigger ones so that it's a little bit, looks like stars. And then we're going to do our lettering. And for the lettering, I'm going to use my Tombow Furunosuke. I always have a hard time saying that. The blue pen. That's the hard tip pen. And you can trace it out first if you want to. I just wanted to make sure that my white is dry before I start lettering. I'm going to wing it, of course, because that's what I do. But if it helps to trace it out. And the quote that she used was, "Watch more sunsets." And so I added one of the flourishes up above and kind of squeezed it all in there. And then I like to thicken up the lines a little bit. So on all of the downstrokes, I'm going to go through and kind of thicken those up and make sure that you can see them, because my pen's kind of dying. I need to probably get a new one. But I like the way it looks also. I like those really thick lines, which is why I use Crayolas all the time. So that's about it. And then I'm going to add a couple of details, I think, because it's the night sky. So let's do that too. Oh, and I'm going to do one or two shout outs really quick using some of this leftover paint. And for the highlights, I just decided I wanted to add a couple of dots on all of my downstrokes. I don't know, kind of just inspiration from the stars. But that just gives it a little bit more of some detail and makes it fun. So let's get going on our subscriber shout outs. And I also want to take a minute and thank my Patreons. You guys are awesome. Okay, so the first person I drew out of the box was Victoria, and I'm kind of going to do the same color scheme, and I'm going to pick two names today to do. And so I'm going to start out with doing like the purple and adding the pink, and then doing pink and maybe some yellow, so it kind of gives that same effect as the picture that we just did. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out, but that's what I have inside my head. So Okay, so the last person for today is going to be Cameron. Thanks you both so much for watching. I appreciate all your support. If you guys would like to get your name lettered on a video, just leave a comment below, add it to my fancy box, and if my video has helped you in any way, please consider subscribing, and if it's helped, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate all of your support. Yeah, that's all I got for today, you guys. So thank you so much. And don't forget, look in the description below to see how you can enter for the giveaway. I'll be sending out Chrystal's book. Thank you again, Chrystal, for sharing your book with us. And I hope you guys had fun. I'll see you soon.